Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. So, what's up, everybody? I hope you guys are having a great Monday. I will be honest with you, I just got home from the doctor's office. I am tired, I'm sweaty. Um, it's hot outside, it's fixing a storm. It's literally thundering outside. My dogs are freaking out, or at least one of them is. Onyx is. So, okay, every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I come on and we do a big book study. And last week we just finished up chapter 6, which was Into Action. And now we're on chapter 7, which is Working with Others. And I'm so freaking excited, you guys. Like, seriously, I know y'all are probably like, what the heck? I'm excited to do this with you guys because working with others is all about our 12 step. So I am so hot. I need a hair tie. Okay, let me go get a hair tie real fast or see if I can go like this. I'll be right back, guys. Okay. Hey guys. That one right there. All right, I'm trying something different today. Hey Cindy. Okay. All right. Okay, I just popped off on Facebook on my regular page, you guys, like a crazy person, because I am. Okay, so what I'm doing today, you guys, is I thought, you know what? I can do Big Book Study on Real Talk Recovery, the Facebook page, and I can do the Big Book Study on the YouTube channel at the same time. So I've got, okay, what is this doing? Okay, I don't need to tag any friends anyway. Okay. All right, I've got the Facebook going on, and I've got the YouTube going on. So every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, you guys, I come on and we do Big Book Study together, and it's just a way for us all to learn together. I'm not an expert, but I just really love reading out of this book because I learn something new every time I crack it open. So that's what we're going to do. Okay? My name's Nicole and I'm an addict. My sobriety date is July 13th of 2015. So what I do is I'm just going to start reading. Is it 7 o'clock yet? I'm pretty sure it's almost 7 o'clock. So we're in chapter 7, which is Working with Others. And that's on page 89 in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. I have the 4th edition, actually. I guess I'll kind of wait just for a couple people to filter in because I know that a lot of you guys, want to be here and do it with me. Hey, Kim. So I got both going, and I'm doing the Big Book Study. So we're on page 89. And like I said, I guess I could just go ahead and start now. That's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and start that way. I want to do, let's see how many pages are in this chapter. Okay, so we'll go from page 89 to page 94. Okay, from page 89 to 94 is what I'm going to go to. So I'm going to go ahead and get started reading. I hope you guys can hear me, okay? All right, my name's Nicole, and I'm an addict and an alcoholic, and welcome to tonight's Big Book Study. So here we go. Chapter 7, Working with Others. Practical experience shows that nothing will so much ensure immunity from drinking as intensive work with other alcoholics. It works when other activities fail. This is our 12th suggestion. Carry this message to other alcoholics. You can help when no one else can. You can secure their confidence when others fail. Remember, they are very ill. Life will take on new meaning. To watch people recover, to see them help others, to watch loneliness vanish, to see a fellowship grow up about you, to have a host of friends. This is an experience you must not miss. We know you will not want to miss it. Frequent contact with newcomers and with each other is the bright spot of our lives. So, I'm going to pause right there. So, it tells us right here in the very beginning of the paragraph that nothing can ensure us immunity from drinking as working with another alcoholic or an addict. Whenever I'm struggling the most, whenever I'm in my head, whenever I can't stop just thinking and I'm restless, irritable, and discontent, my sponsor has always told me, get out of your own head and go be of service to someone else. And every single time, even if it's something simple like making coffee at a meeting or picking up cigarette butts outside or calling my friend who's been struggling also and just telling her, hey, I love you, I miss you, and I care about you. Just these little acts of service change my whole outlook on life. It helps me so very much, you guys. Perhaps you are not acquainted with any drinkers who want to recover. You can easily find some by asking a few doctors, ministers, priests, or hospitals. They will be only too glad to assist you. Don't start out as an evangelist or reformer. Unfortunately, a lot of prejudice exists. You will be handicapped if you arouse it. Ministers and doctors are competent, and you can learn much from them if you wish. But it happens that because of your own drinking experience, you can be uniquely useful to other alcoholics. So cooperate, never criticize. To be helpful is our only aim. Page 90. When you discover a prospect for Alcoholics Anonymous, find out all you can about him. If he does not want to stop drinking, don't waste time trying to persuade him. You may spoil a later opportunity. This advice is given for his family also. They should be patient, realizing they are dealing with a sick person. If there is any indication that he wants to stop, have a good talk with the person most interested in him, usually his wife. Get an idea of his behavior, his problems, his background, the seriousness of his condition, and his religious learnings. You need this information to put yourself in his place, to see how you would like him to approach you if the tables were turned. So, get to know him. Let him know, I know what it's like. I've been where you're at. I've struggled, and I know the obsession, how strong it is. When I used to drink and use drugs, you guys, I didn't think anyone else understood what it was like. I don't know why I felt like this, but I thought I was so different than everyone else. I thought my addiction was worse than theirs. There's no way that they could even understand what I was going through, right? Wrong. They could understand because they had walked that walk before me, and they had come out on the other side victorious. Man, I'm telling you what, one of the things that the disease of addiction does to us is it isolates us and it makes us want to think that we're different. It makes us say to ourselves, oh, they don't know what I'm going through. They never understand, or they don't have it as bad as I do. If they drank like I drank, then they would know what I was talking about. If they shot dope like I shot dope, then they would know why I wasn't sober. Constantly separating ourselves and isolating ourselves. Sometimes it is wise to wait till he goes on a binge. The family may object to this, but unless he is in a dangerous physical condition, it is better to risk it. Don't deal with him when he is very drunk, unless he is ugly and the family needs your help. Wait for the ends of the spree, or at least for a lucid interval. Then let his family or a friend ask him if he wants to quit for good, and if he would go to any extreme to do so. Remember, would he go to any extreme to do so? If he says yes, then his attention should be drawn to you as a person who has recovered. You should be described to him as one of a fellowship who, as part of their own recovery, try to help others and who will be glad to talk to him if he cares to see you. So it says, you should be described to him as one of a fellowship who, as part of our own recovery, try to help others and who will be glad to talk to him if he cares to see you. So I know you guys probably always think when I'm saying like, it helps me to help you. It helps me to help you. Sharing my experience helps me. It helps me stay sober. I'm telling you guys, exactly what I'm reading to you guys right now is exactly what was taught to me by my sponsor. And I'm telling you what, helping others will change your life. Okay? Will change your life. Okay. If he does not want to see you, never force yourself upon him. Neither should the family hysterically plead with him to do anything, nor should they tell him much about you. They should wait for the end of his next drinking bout. You might place this book where he can see it in the interval. Here, no specific rule can be given. The family must decide these things, but urge them not to be over-anxious, for that might spoil matters. Usually the family should not try to tell your story. When possible, avoid meeting a man through his family. Approach through a doctor or an institution is a better bet. If your man needs hospitalization, he should have it, but not forcibly unless he is violent. Let the doctor, if he will, tell him he has something in the way of a solution. When your man is better, the doctor might suggest a visit from you. Hey, Ashley. Though you have talked with the family, leave them out of the first discussion. Under these conditions, your prospect will see he is under no pressure. He will feel he can deal with you without being nagged by his family. That's really important. Because, okay, so whenever we're all trying to get sober, I don't know about you guys, but I've had experiences where the family members, they want the loved one to be sober more than the loved one wants to be sober, right? And so they're calling me, they're texting me, they're reaching out, but the person who is in active addiction, they're not, right? And so what that shows me is that that person's not ready to take that step, and all I'm doing is talking to the family member. That's not going to help me any, right? And that's not going to help the person who's sick and suffering. And that's what we're going through right now. This is teaching us right here how to handle working our 12th step, how to go on a 12th step call if somebody needs help, if they're, if we're going to help someone who's actively using and drinking. Call on him while he is still jittery. He may be more receptive when depressed. See your man alone if possible. At first, engage in general conversation. After a while, turn the talk to some phase of drinking. Tell him enough about your drinking habits, symptoms, and experiences to encourage him to speak of himself. If he wishes to talk, let him do so. You will thus get a better idea of how you ought to proceed. If he is not communicative, give him a sketch of your drinking career up to the time you quit, but say nothing for the moment of how that was accomplished. If he is in a serious mood, dwell on the troubles of liquor has caused you, being careful not to moralize or lecture. If his mood is light, tell him humorous stories of your escapades. Get him to tell some of his. How many of us have sat down, and I know you guys know, that's what we do on my channel a lot, is we tell the story times of when I was in active addiction. And a lot of the times, that's how I connect with you guys the most, is when I'm sharing with you guys those vulnerable, awful, scary, bad stories of my addiction, the stuff that I did that I'm not proud of, that I'm really ashamed of, right? But because I've stepped out of myself and I can share those things and I can share them with you guys and we can relate on that, it brings us together. It brings us together. It's one addict or alcoholic helping another. And that connection between us is like no other kind of friendship, no other kind of support. Okay, get him to tell you some of his escapades too. When he sees you know all about drinking, the drinking game, commence to describe yourself as an alcoholic. Tell him how baffled you were, how you finally learned that you were sick. Give him an account of the struggles you made to stop. Show him the mental twist which leads to the first drink or a spree. We suggest you do this as we have done it in the chapter on alcoholism. If he is an alcoholic, he will understand you at once. He will match your mental inconsistencies with some of his own. If you are satisfied that he is a real alcoholic, begin to dwell on the hopeless feature of the malady. Show him from your own experience how the queer mental condition surrounding that first drink prevents normal functioning of the willpower. Okay, so you guys know when we take in that drink, that first drug, that sets off the phenomenon of craving inside of us, right? So there's a whole disease concept, and it goes like this. It goes trigger, thought, obsession, use. Okay, so you have to use first before you can crave. Okay, use, craving, spree. Then it repeats: trigger, thought, use, obsession, use, craving, trigger, thought, use, trigger, thought, obsession, use, craving. And when I was in treatment, you guys, and I was learning about that, we would go trigger, TTOU. Okay, trigger, thought, obsession, use, and then the vicious cycle, right? Craving, vicious cycle, CV, TTOU, CV, and then we would say it around and around and around, right? So that way we would have it memorized. But that's what happens when we take drug and alcohol into our bodies. It sets off a craving inside of us. It's not like when a normal person drinks or does drugs. Somebody else could drink and have a couple of beers and not even blink an eye, right? Oh, that's it. I'm done. I don't need any more. And they push the beer to the side, or they push the vodka to the side. But someone like us, an alcoholic or an addict, we take that drink inside of us and it's like it lights us up. There's like ringing bells and we're like dancing a little jig. And if we keep on going, I love hearing people when they tell me about how they break out in handcuffs and felonies, right? Because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run off. I'm going to go get high as fuck. I'm going to crash my car. I'm going to, cheat on my man. I'm going to do all kinds of crazy stuff, right? But that's what the disease of addiction and alcoholism does to us. It's not the same for someone who doesn't struggle with the disease of addiction. Okay. Don't at this stage refer to this book unless he has seen it and wishes to discuss it. And be careful not to brand him as an alcoholic. Let him draw his own conclusion. So how many of you guys came to your own conclusion and said, you know what, I'm an addict. I'm finally ready to admit it. I'm throwing my hands up. I'm ready to surrender. No one can tell you that for you. Nobody can diagnose you and say, hey, guess what? You're an addict or you're an alcoholic. The only person who can do that is you. And it's really important that you come to that your own conclusion, because that's part of the steps. That's part of admitting and accepting. Okay. If he sticks to the idea that he can still control his drinking, tell him that possibly he can, if he is not too alcoholic. But insist that if he is severely afflicted, there may be little chance he can recover by himself. So a lot of people will say, you know, I'm not that bad. I can drink and put it down, or I can get high and not do it. I only do it on the weekends, or I only do it every other day, right? And that might be. But if you're severely afflicted with the disease of addiction, you will not be able to do it on your own. I've seen so many people try. I was one of them who banged my head back and forth into the wall, who kept putting my hand into that hot stove, right? Because I thought, I can do it on my own. I can do it on my own. I can do it on my own. And that was my pride and my ego keeping me from reaching out for help, because I thought, first of all, and it was shame and it was guilt too, because I was ashamed. I was embarrassed, but I also thought I should be strong enough to do this on my own, right? Continue to speak of alcoholism as an illness, because that's what it is. Addiction and alcoholism are illness. It's an illness. A fatal malady, deadly. Talk about the condition of the body and the mind which accompany it. Keep his attention focused mainly on your personal experience. Explain that many are doomed who never realize their predicament. Doctors are rightly loath to tell alcoholic patients the whole story unless it will serve some good or purpose. But you may talk to him about the hopelessness of alcoholism, because you offer a solution. You will soon have your friend admitting he has many, if not all, of the traits of an alcoholic. If his own doctor is willing to tell him that he is an alcoholic, so much the better. Even though your protege might not have entirely admitted his condition, he has become very curious to know how you got well. So this is when he's wondering. He's like, well, you drank like me. You got high like I did. You know, and that's all. Whenever you can sit down and talk with somebody and they're telling you that they've been to where you've been and you know it, you're basically seeing it. You know, you can tell when somebody's like really telling you a story that they've been through, right? And you start like relating to them. It's like, wait a second. Well, if you were a junkie like me, how did you get sober? How did you do it? Let him ask you that question, if he will. Tell him exactly what happened to you. Stress the spiritual feature freely. If the man be agnostic or atheist, make it empathetic that he does not have to agree with your conception of God. Y'all all know this. My higher power is God, but your higher power does not have to be that. Your higher power is your own conception. Whatever you, and that's between you and your HP, right? Okay. He can choose any conception he likes, provided it makes sense to him. Right there. The main thing is that he be willing to believe in a power greater than himself, and that he live by spiritual principles. When dealing with such a person, you had better use everyday language to describe spiritual principles. There is no use arousing any prejudice he may have against certain theological terms and conceptions about which he may already be confused. Don't raise such issues, no matter what your own convictions are. Your prospect may belong to a religious denomination. His religious education and training may be far superior to yours. In that case, he is going to wonder how you can add anything to what he already knows. But he will be curious to learn why his own convictions have not worked and why yours seem to work so well. He may be an example of the truth that faith alone is insufficient. To be vital, faith must be accompanied by self-sacrifice and unselfish, constructive action. Let him see that you are not there to instruct him in religion. Admit that he probably knows more about it than you do, but call to his attention the fact that however deep his faith and knowledge, he could not have applied it or he would not drink. Perhaps your story will help him see where he has failed to practice the very precepts he knows so well. We represent no particular faith or denomination. We are dealing only with general principles common to most denominations. So let me stop right there. So, when you're going to help somebody, okay, guys, let's say you've been sober and you've been working the steps with your sponsor and you're coming up and you're on your 12th step and your sponsor calls you and she's like, hey, we got to go up to the hospital, okay? There's a girl up there. She done overdosed on heroin. She's came to, she wants to talk to some people that are in the program and she needs some sober support. Her family just, reached out, but she is really willing and she wants to talk to us also. So we're going to go up there and see her, okay? So what this is doing is it's giving us an outline of exactly how to sit down and talk to somebody that is struggling and how to bring this message to them so that way we don't scare them off, right? Sit down and just share your own experience, your own story with that person. A lot of the times what will happen is I feel like we will get so excited and we want to help somebody so bad that we'll almost overdo it and scare that person off. I've been guilty, especially when I first started out trying to reach out to people and let them know that they weren't alone, of almost being too overbearing, and I've had to learn to really pull back and let people come to me. That's why I encourage people to reach out to me through email, because I know email is such a, it's not just like texting. Like, you have to take a moment and effort to make an email. So if somebody drops what they're doing to email me, then I know that they want to talk to me, that it's serious. And that way I'm not just like, attacking people everywhere with the big book. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how it's exciting when you get sober and you're starting to feel good and you're getting your confidence back and you're working the steps with your sponsor and you're doing the right thing. You want to help other people, and you want other people to find recovery because you feel this whole new, I'm going to tell you guys this, it's like a whole new awakening inside of you. It's like the Spirit is running through me, it's like God is walking with me. It's like I'm not alone anymore. And for so many years, that's how I felt. For so many years, I just felt alone, and now I don't have to feel like that. And now I have proof that I'm not alone because I have so many of you guys and so much support from all these different people who are in recovery just like I am. I don't mean to get emotional. Sorry about that. Hey, Tina. Outlook. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit farther and then we'll stop, okay? So it says, outline the program of action. Explaining how you made a self-appraisal, how you straightened out your past, and why you are now endeavoring to be helpful to him. It is important for him to realize that your attempt to pass this on to him plays a vital part in your own recovery. So it's really important for us to let the person know that helping others helps me stay sober. This is part of my program, giving back what was freely given to me, right? Okay, I will, Tina. Okay, actually, he may be helping you more than you are helping him. Make it plain he is under no obligation to you. That you hope only that he will try to help other alcoholics when he escapes his own difficulties. So he doesn't owe you anything, okay? You don't have to pay someone that helps you get sober. You don't have to, buy them a cake and tell them thank you. The only thing that you need to do when somebody helps you get sober is make sure you pass it on. Make sure you pass. What is that saying that they say? Push it forward. What is it called? Pull it. Anyways, Give it back, okay? If someone helps you, comes and gives you, says, hey, I want to help you. Do you need help getting sober? Okay, let's do this. Or if you reach, pay it forward. That's what I'm trying to say. That's all you have to do is pay it forward. Okay? Because what the 12th step says, it says, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, okay? Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps. That's what we're doing. That's how we had the spiritual awakening, is because of because of working the 12 steps, you know? We carry this message to other alcoholics and practice these principles in all of our affairs, okay? So it's just like basically, and each person does it. One person does it to the next person, takes them through the steps, then the next person, then the next person, then the next person. That's why you have like sponsorship families, you guys, right? Like where you have like a grand sponsor, a sponsor, and then a sponsee, and then a sponsee sister. There's like sponsorship families and stuff. It's so cool. And it's like a little family of like, it's a support family. It's like your own family of people who have known what you're going through, who knew what it was like to be an addict, and who knew what it was like to be a drunk, and now you have this like awesome support network. Okay. Make it plain to him he is under no obligation to you, that you hope only that he will try to help other alcoholics when he escapes his own difficulties. Suggest how important it is that he place the welfare of other people ahead of his own. Make it clear that he is not under pressure, that he needn't see you again if he doesn't want to. You should not be offended if he wants to call it off, for he has helped you more than you have helped him. If your talk has been sane, quiet, and full of human understanding, you have perhaps made a friend. Maybe you have disturbed him about the question of alcoholism. This is all to the good. The more hopeless he feels, the better. He will be more likely to follow your suggestions. Your candidate may give reasons why he need not follow all the program. He may rebel at the thought of a drastic house cleaning, which requires discussion with other people. Do not contradict such views. Tell him once you felt as he does, but you doubt whether you would have made such progress had you not taken action. On your first visit, tell him about the fellowship of AA. If he shows interest, lend him a copy of this book. So it says, your candidate may give reasons why he need not follow all the program. For example, your candidate may say, I don't want to do the 4th step. It's too hard. I don't want to write all that stuff down. Okay? And that's when you tell them, if I hadn't have done mine, I would not be where I am today. All right? It's uncomfortable. It's not going to be easy, but you don't have to do it alone. And that's what the whole point of the program is, that you're not alone, But I'm not going to, no sponsor can come make you do it. Nobody can make you put the pen to the paper, right? It has to be within you. You have to make that decision and take that action, And I'm telling you guys, it's difficult sometimes to step outside of your comfort zone, right? It's scary. And that's what it is. It's fear. All right? We are full of fear. We get so used to doing things a certain way and in a certain habit of things that when we have to step outside of that and make a change, right? It's just, man, this shit's crazy. Every time I'm like, oh hell, I'll skip a meeting, and I end up going. It always hits home. That's higher power working in my life. Hey Megan, I'm going to tell you guys a story about when the first sponsor I ever got. Okay, the first sponsor I ever got, I was in treatment at RCA. It was called RCA. Centers of Arkansas. Recovery Centers of Arkansas. I don't know why my brain is not bringing up words today. Recovery Centers of Arkansas. And my sponsor's name was Robin, okay? And this was the only Fourth step I did in this format. Now, Robin had me write a case history, you guys. Okay? Have you guys ever heard of a case history? Basically, what a case history is it is your damn life story. Okay? It's your life story from beginning to end. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent, all together. I filled up a whole legal yellow pad full. That was my story, okay? And then we had to go through it and circle my character defects, my resentments, and we had to go through it little by little, right? I did that. I did my fourth step while I was in rehab, okay? Well, it was the halfway house. And I wrote this whole fourth step down, right? And then we went through it together. But that time, you know what I did? I thought I was slick. I left some stuff out. I left some stuff out because I was embarrassed. And I didn't want to tell her about it. I didn't want to tell her about some stuff that I had done. Some stuff that was done to me while I was in my active addiction. And so I left it all out. And they say in the book, they say, you know, those secrets that we keep, those secrets will take us back out and we'll drink again. You know, we'll get high again. Well, I did. I relapsed. You know, I relapsed probably 6 months after I did that fourth step. But I'm going to tell you, even writing that case history, you know, it wasn't fun, but I did it. I did it. And then once I realized I could do it, then that gave me more strength to do another one when I had to do it with my new sponsor. You know, and then my new sponsor came along and she was like, psh, you don't have to write that case history. I have these worksheets. They have columns. You just fill them out, right? And then we read it. We went over it together and read through it together. And it wasn't hard at all, you know. And ever since then, man, I'm telling you what, I'm so grateful I did it with her. I'm so grateful that she showed me a new way to do it, you know, so that way whenever I decided to take somebody through their steps, I could show them that way, you know. Working with other people, it's an amazing feeling to be able to sit down with somebody and share with them the things that you've gone through and see their eyes light up because they've been through the same thing. Love you, Jason. Talk tomorrow, my sweet control. My sweet Nicole. I know what you meant. Controller. I love you. It's an amazing feeling to sit down and be able to talk to somebody and they have been through the same thing you've been through, you guys. I know you guys know what it feels like when you're on Facebook or you're on Instagram and somebody reaches out to you and they tell you, hey, you inspired me, or your story is so much like mine, right? That's how it first started with me, is like people would say, wow, your story, it's a lot like my story. And then I started talking to more of you guys and we started relating even more. And I'm going to tell you what, you guys, I love working with people. I love trying to help other people and just spread a message of hope and recovery, right? I'm not perfect, though. I make mistakes. I fly off the handle. I've got a mouth on me, you know. But I really do try to be a good person and do the right thing. I really, really do try. And I come from a place of love. Like, I really just want to help people not suffer, you know, because I spent so many years struggling in active addiction, you know. And I know we all struggled through active addiction, right? You guys have got to see Jason. Lube. Bye, baby. Jason is texting on this phone, you guys. I'm on YouTube on this side, and I'm on Facebook on this side. Here, I'll let you guys say hi to each other. See? Hey. And he just texted. He called me Controlla instead of Nicole. And then he just texted Lube. Hey, Jason. Straight Talking Fedora Chick says, hi, Jason. Night. We love you. The 12th step is just basically what it is. Giving back, right? Giving back what's so freely given to us. And I went on a kind of a rant over on my Facebook page today, you guys, because I went back to Facebook and I've seen so many people that were there when I left, right? That were taking advantage of people and selling recovery like it was some item to sell, right? Come get this recovery. It only costs this much money. And these people are getting like exposed now. And I was just like, wow, everything comes from full circle. If you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, it'll end up coming out in the long run. And so I'm telling you, from now on, if you're doing something, just try to be transparent and honest and do the right thing, you guys, because it's not worth it. It's not worth it to... First of all, I don't understand anyone who wants to take advantage of people who are struggling. I don't understand that concept of taking advantage of addicts and alcoholics. I will never, ever, ever do that. People are vulnerable when they're in their addiction. People don't understand. That's why it's so important, you guys. Like, I stick with the women. The women stick with the women, and the men stick with the men. If you're a guy and you're out there helping women, you need to stop, because you don't want to get yourself into trouble. Anything can happen, you guys. Okay? And I'm not saying that there's dudes out there that are trying to take advantage of women, right? Hey, Candy. But what I'm saying is, it's a dangerous, slippery slope, because there's many, many women who are struggling in active addiction. And you got a good-looking man who comes along and he's sober. And all it takes is one accusation, okay, to get spread around and ruin a person's life. All it takes is somebody making up a rumor about something, okay? And then you have people who are truly doing it. Then you have men who are truly seeking out vulnerable women in early recovery and taking advantage of them, okay? And that shit's coming to light too. And it always will. Like, I'm telling you guys, people who are in recovery, who are trying to help others, we have to watch out for ourselves. I have to protect myself. I can't be talking, I cannot. That's why, you guys, I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson, even texting a man and saying, I hope you're doing okay. Stay sober. You can do it. It's dangerous, because you have people you have women who see the text message, oh, you're a homewrecker. I'm telling you guys, play it safe. Protect your recovery. Protect your recovery. Okay? It's not worth getting caught up in some kind of rumor mill, or it's not worth being put in that position. Okay? And you know that saying, some are sicker than others. There's some people who get sober, you guys, and that's all they did was remove drugs and alcohol. And they're still practicing the same behaviors they were in active addiction. They're just not on drugs anymore, right? So they're sober, but they're still lying, cheating, manipulating, adulterating, all that stuff. And nothing's changed. There was my sponsor and this counselor guy. He always used to say, nothing changes if nothing changes. And I was always like, what does that mean? It means exactly what it means. Nothing changes if nothing changes. When we get sober, we cannot just take away the drugs and the alcohol, okay, guys? We have to make changes on the inside. And that's not easy. It's hard, guys. All right? But adversity builds character. I want you guys to find this guy on YouTube. His channel is called GP Life After Prison or something like that. Wes Watson, okay? He was talking about his experience when he went to prison. I think he did 10 years. And he was talking about how it was hard in there, but the hard times that he went through, the being locked up for 10 years, the not having, nice things, being in prison for 10 years, right? I love him, Megan. I love him. That shit helped mold him into the person he is today. You know what I mean? That helped him to grow, to be a strong person. All right? Recovery is not going to be all whistles and bells and unicorns and rainbows, right? Listen, I'm going to tell you guys something right now. The first 6 months of my sobriety, I was a nervous freaking wreck. The first year, I was crying every damn day. I thought I was going to lose my mind. I thought I was going to lose my son. Okay? I had no car. I walked everywhere I went. When I finally did get my son back, I had to put him in a stroller and walk with him everywhere I went. Everywhere I went, you guys. I had to basically sell myself to the job that I got a job at, you guys. I had to go into this place and tell them, I'm a felon, but I need a chance. Please give me a chance. I need a job. I have this son. I'm trying to get him back out of custody. And I was honest. That's the only thing I can tell you guys, is that I was honest. I was honest, and I let them know, this is what's going on. This is how I screwed up my life, but I want a second chance, and I'm willing to make it right. Please give me a chance. And eventually, somebody took a chance on me. Somebody gave me a chance, you guys. Somebody gave me a chance. And then I started working. And when I started working, I started putting my money back, okay? I started saving $10 here, $20 there. I don't have a lot of money, you guys. I don't, okay? But I work so hard for every little piece of change that I have, okay? I work my butt off. And that's the way I was raised up. I was raised up, get a job, go work, don't stop. My dad still works and he's retired, you guys. Like, he should be laying up enjoying his life, you know? But he works because that's how we were raised, to work, you know? So it's not easy. Life doesn't get handed to us, you guys. And when we were out there, you guys, and we were doing drugs, you remember how hard we hustled for them drugs? That's how hard we got to hustle for our recovery. And I know that might seem like, oh, come on, Nicole. But I'm serious, you guys. Like, when I was getting high and I was dope sick, I could turn $0 into 100. I was resourceful AF. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? I was resourceful. I could manage. I could conjure up. All right? Sometimes we got to dip back into our old resourcefulness. Remember how dedicated we were when we were out there in them streets? Remember how dedicated you were to finding that dope and hustling? That's what we have to do now. We got to put that same effort into our recovery as we did when we were getting high. And it may seem like everything is falling to the wayside, right? You might think, I'm never going to get ahead. I thought the same thing. I'm telling you. Please, you guys, I wish that I had started my YouTube channel. No, I don't. If I had started my YouTube channel when I first got sober, I probably wouldn't be sober today, because I would have gotten a big head and I would have probably overdosed and died. But sometimes I wish I had a way of documenting the way I felt my first year sober, because it was so hard, you guys. It was so freaking hard. Okay, I didn't have my family. My mom and dad were in New York. Okay, my mother-in-law couldn't stand me. Okay, we were fighting all the time. She didn't want me to be married to her son. She didn't want me to be a part of this family. You know, I am though. And now she has to accept me. But that's how it was. And I felt like I didn't belong. I felt like these people don't want me here. They don't. That's exactly how it felt, you guys. And I worked. Sometimes we got to work places, you guys, that we really don't want to work. I'm telling you, hey buddy, I was working at this place called Nuke's. It's like a sandwich place, right?
Yummy.
Yeah. And it was an okay job, but it wasn't my top choice of positions to work. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes what they tell you, if you're struggling, okay, see, this is what we do in Arkansas. They have these like job fairs and stuff. Then there's also like places that will hire you if you have a felony. But sometimes, you know what? You got to go into McDonald's and just tell them, please hire me. McDonald's hires everybody, you guys. Believe that. And you know what? McDonald's also has insurance. My friend Amber works at McDonald's, and her Amber Barnes, she does really pretty eye makeup. She works at McDonald's, and she's a manager, and she makes good money, and she has insurance. I don't even have insurance at my job. So don't get discouraged, okay? Just keep pushing forward. I'm telling you, you guys, don't give up. Don't stop until the miracle happens, okay? That's what they always tell us. Don't stop until the miracle happens. You know, it might be rough right now, but this time will pass. This always happens in recovery, where we have ups and downs. It's like waves crashing, right? That's how recovery is. Whoop, crash you over. Whoop, crash you over. I kept my addiction going as long as I did. Plus, I was supporting 3 other people's habits. Angel, I know, right? That's crazy, girl. You were hustling. I know they're pretty, aren't they, girl? She has really good eyeshadow. She started out just doing it on. She's not a makeup artist. She's self-taught. That's the thing. Pray. Opportunity will show itself. I promise you. Listen to me, you guys. The only thing I can tell you guys that are struggling, Candy, the only thing I can tell you is to please not give up. Because if I had given up, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And right whenever we give up is when something's right there at that door about to happen, right? Yes, exactly, Angel. That's what I was saying. You get your foot in there, you get some insurance, you start getting all your medical stuff taken care of. A lot of those places a lot of fast food places, they are searching for somebody that actually wants to work. Because there are so many people, you guys, that just don't want to work. Okay, my husband, he works for a company here in Arkansas, a grocery store. And they're always hiring people because nobody wants to work. They have insurance, they have benefits, and they're a union job. You know, I'm telling you guys, please don't give up, all right? If you're struggling, I will help you, Candy. You know I will. I'll help you find some jobs. I'll help you look for some places, girl. I will get online with you. I will be looking just like... But I'm always here for you guys. I just want y'all to know that I know sometimes it seems like things aren't going to pass by, but I'm telling you what, it will get better. I promise you it will. Just pray, and you know everything's going to be okay. But I wanted to do this 12-step big book study with you guys.
Are you done yet?
Exactly, Megan. I'm almost done. Nate wants to say hi, guys. Okay, there he is. All right, so I'll see you guys next Monday at 7 p.m. Hey, Big Easy.
Of course.
Exactly. They're absolutely. I don't care if you have to go out and shovel dirt out of ditches into another ditch, right? Yeah. It's like you just do what you guys got to do to make ends meet. That's what you got to do. Anything, like you said, Angel, honest work. I say hustle like you did when you were in your addiction, but I mean honest hustling. I don't mean going out and stealing and all that kind of stuff. I mean, y'all know what I mean. Okay. I feel like I'm like, but anyways, 12 step, that's what we're on. That's what we're reading about in the big book. We left off on page 94, so everybody remember that, page 94, chapter 7, okay? And I will...
Like chapter 4 in Bandy and Anchorage.
Right. And I will see you guys Wednesday for story time and Friday for our merit meeting, okay? I love you guys so much. And please don't get discouraged, okay? All right. Bye.